The pandemic time is a hard time. That's just a fact. No one is enjoying this. But as I've thought about it and listened to other people's stories, I've realized that some people are having a harder time than others. I don't like the confinement and fear of this situation, but really, I'm okay. I'm lucky to have a certain amount of privilege in my life, but some other people aren't so lucky. I think of immigrants and refugees, especially those without papers. They're not going to receive any government financial assistance during this time. How will they pay their rent if they're not working? How will they feed their families? I also think of the people stranded at our border hoping to get into our country. They can't really maintain social distancing. And because of all the restrictions, the volunteers they depend on are limited in their access. How can they get the help they need? I think of people living in poverty. How will they sustain themselves during this time? How will they survive after? I think of people in abusive relationships who are now stuck at home with their abusers. How will they survive? How will they survive even the stress of this situation? All of the justice issues that were at play before the pandemic started just got worse. The dynamic of privilege and exclusion just deepened. I think it's important to acknowledge this, but there's more. Our faith calls us to more, like it always does. Just because there's a pandemic doesn't mean we let go of our call to love our neighbor. So what can you do to love your neighbor during this time? Who needs a phone call or a wave through a window? Who needs a food delivery? Who needs you to advocate on their behalf? Yes, this time has given us restrictions and we have to maintain distance and stay safe. But that doesn't mean we stop serving. It just means we get creative. It means we pay attention to who's in need and how God might be calling us to serve them. This is a pivotal moment. This is the kind of moment that's a crisis and an opportunity. We could make real transformation happen in our neighborhoods and cities, in our country and in the world. Let's listen to God's call and see how we can respond with creativity and compassion.